it's Marie, and I've got Lisa right here with me. And Lisa, you've got some advice for everybody about what makes a perfect show, right?
I do. I think a perfect show is a combination of product knowledge. I think it's about great timing. You have to know when your show is going to start, when it's going to end. I think you should have funny lines, definitely have funny lines, and I think you should connect with your guests. And the way I connect with my guests is I do it before the show starts, and I actually use what I find out about the guests against them during the show. So if I find out that somebody's got a busy lifestyle and they're out Monday through Friday, to give an example of how I find that out, I'll say, do me a favor, go around the room, introduce yourself, and tell me how do you generally spend your evenings. And so I find out who's home and who's not, and at some point people are always willing to give you personal information. Oh, I'm never home, you know. I'm out every night, you know, that kind of thing. Or people will say, oh, I'm in my 40s by that time, and they'll admit to, you know, many a night of bad television. So if I find out a little personal information about a few people at the show, I don't try to aim for everyone, just a few. I use that against them at the show. And I'll say something like, you know, for somebody like Mary, she just shared with me, she's a very busy working mom. She's got 4 kids. She's the perfect candidate to book my Saturday morning brunch show. We'll involve alcohol before noon. Your friends will come. We'll have a couple of laughs. Everybody's happy when they're drinking at noon. Then when I actually do my recipe, they inquired about the penne. Mary Chiarella taught me a funny line with garlic, and I adapted it to pasta. So before I start the pasta, I'll say, how many of you have ever boiled a pot of water? Boil macaroni. Every hand goes up. 2 hands on every body goes up. And I'll say, how many of you would like to eliminate that step? Naturally, everybody wants to know. So I said, I'm Italian. In my house, that's foreplay if I don't have to wait for a bottle of water. So I'll come out from behind the table and I'll say, can you please verify for everyone that that is raw pasta?
Yeah, it's raw pasta.
Have we ever met before tonight?
No, we haven't.
And that usually generates a lot of laughter. So I take that, I put it in the rock crock, and I take 3 cups of chicken broth and 1 cup of white wine, 3 cloves of garlic in the slicer, peeler and slicer, and plenty of our Himalayan salt. I microwave that for 17 minutes. If the microwave is kind of tight, take the glass lid and invert it and put the knob in, and that'll make it fit a little better. But if you microwave it for 17 minutes, take it out, stir it, and put the lid back on. Let it sit like that for 5 more minutes. I add, not grilled chicken, I add fresh mozzarella balls where you want to drain the water. Don't add the water, drain the water, and as soon as you add the fresh mozzarella and the fresh basil and a sprinkle of Parmesan cheese, you now, at that point, never want to walk away from it. You want to serve it immediately. So Sharon gave me the tip that once they're eating, they're a captive audience, and that's when you can go into your ticket game or your recruiting spiel or your story, whatever you're finishing up with. And if they're eating, they can't talk, so you'll have their attention.
So let me get the recipe right. We have 3 cups of broth.
And if you want to
go
vegetarian,
okay,
you use vegetable broth.
Okay, and we're going to do 3 sliced garlic cloves.
3 cloves of garlic peeled and sliced.
Okay, and then just the pasta. No tomatoes.
It's 1 container of grape or cherry tomato.
Chopped at all?
Just in their whole.
Okay. 17 minutes.
17 minutes in the microwave. Take it out. Stir it. And you want to be very careful. You don't want to, if you want the ratio of liquid to pasta to be exactly right, find Barilla Mezze penne. Mezze is Italian for small. But if you use regular sized penne, now you're messing with the liquid, the size of the pasta, the way it breaks down. You're probably going to have way too much liquid at the end. I don't know why that is. Larger pasta should have less liquid, but Barilla Mezze penne is the perfect one.
Okay, and one more thing. You said that on top of the wish list, there's a couple letters that you give everybody at the beginning of the show.
Yes, I do.
And then people will understand why this recipe was one of the best recipes for you to follow up, right?
I always give them a little helpful tip about navigating the order form at the beginning of the show. And then before I start my actual demo, I'll say, ladies, this is not going to make any sense to you at all, but I just want you to write some letters in the first 2 lines of your order form. Top line, you're going to write capital R, capital C, and below that, you're going to write capital D, C, B. You have no idea what that means, but as the show progresses, you'll understand. And then I go and talk about my rock crock and my deep covered baker, and then I say, if I've given you any reason at all to believe that you don't need 1 or both of these, you may now cross that out. And that kind of puts a little thought. And, you know, most people find out which one is for me. Well, if you're the person that appreciates all the bells and whistles, the stovetop, the oven, the microwave, the grill, the broiler, the dishwasher, stop it, you're killing me, the fridge and the freezer. If you're the person that enjoys those bells and whistles, you have absolutely every right to buy the rock crock. I recommend the 4-quart because you can always do less than a big one, but you can't do more in a small one. Yeah. So you'll always have the room. And then the DCB, you know what? Personally speaking, I think the rock crock's going to put that baby out of inventory, so you want to grab it while you can. When you book your show, we'll get you that one for free.